Hello there, Lee Cunningham here from Ahead Solutions UK. Thank you very much for watching. I want to talk to you today about a subject which is drop dead crucial for you if you order staff ID cards, employee identity, pass cards, that kind of thing from us or anyone else actually for that matter. Obviously, the video that I'm recording now, we have well over 1,000 regular customers in the UK alone. Producing ID cards for you guys, and I can't obviously possibly know from what industry you are just whilst recording this video, so it's quite generic, but there has recently been an explosion, it seems, in the number of applications for fraudulent ID, fake ID for companies, that kind of thing. So just before I go any further, let me just give you some examples. So obviously things like, age verification has always been a thing, basically people trying to get a pass card to say they're 18 or 21 or whatever. That's not, that's kind of always maintained a steady number of applications. But recently there's been an increase in the number of ID cards for example, citizenship, for company ID, for things like large organisations and small, so NHS photo ID cards, where it seems that perpetrators will stop at nothing to even send in their own photo ID to ask, can that be put onto like for example an NHS badge or some other company ID. We have had the lot. We've had applications for NHS, we've had applications for courts of law in Manchester, we've had applications for authorised access for airports, for airlines, for helicopter training lessons, even for ID passes to say that people are doctors. Now, obviously we have our own due diligence in-house, so we do things like we look at the email address from which the order comes. Is it kind of like a domain name email address? Is it one of our regular customers? Is it someone new? Do we need to be suspicious? What actually is the person kind of like asking for? Can they show any credentials? Are they registered with HMRC or Companies House? We have a whole raft of measures that we will look to try to make sure as best as possible that the ID card that we're going to use our suite of printing machines to and send that card out to a legitimate person. Because the problem with fake ID and fraudulent applications is, well, there's a number of problems that, and they kind of fall into two kind of categories. So the first one is, of course, for us, the problem is obviously, as I've mentioned, vetting people, making sure that the application comes from a legitimate person or a legitimate person within a company. But for you guys, businesses out there, busy doing your work, and getting on with the day to day, the problem is that if somebody does order successfully an ID card with your business logo on it, and again, not necessarily from us, we are really stringent with our checks, but say for example another print house on Amazon or eBay or another website, then the ramifications of, say for example, unauthorized access into a building could be absolutely devastating, and of course that could be not perhaps a work building, but one of your customers' buildings. So as I say, I don't know who you are watching this video. I know you're probably one of our customers, but I don't know what the nature of your business is. But we have lots of healthcare businesses, we have lots of tech businesses, we have a whole suite of different kind of players. Now if you're a kind of in the healthcare sector and you have a team of people going out to customers' premises, and somebody orders a staff ID badge with your logo on it and their photo, and again, not from us but from somewhere else, then they could potentially get past an unsuspecting member of the public. Might be an old dear who's expecting a health visitor, someone caregiver, that kind of thing. So that's one problem. Another problem is obviously the potential for fraud, financial fraud, by like a you know, like a perpetrator. And then of course there are lots of other things that they could possibly get into, such as identity theft, potentially. So that's like one set of problems, not nice to have. But the other not nice to have, and this is really not nice to have, is the fact that employers are liable, or can be held liable, for damages to members of the public, or even to their own members of staff, if they were to suffer negatively from having an ID, from a perpetrator ordering an ID badge and doing damage financially or otherwise to someone. It's the consequences are frankly terrible. Now, there's more on our website about the consequences of fake ID, but this fact that it's the employers can be held liable for that is really concerning. So I'm going to give you some tips at the towards the end of this video, but I'm going to give you some solutions as well, which are really simple, and there's really 4 levels of solution. We do holographic ID, okay, and we've recently developed a couple of hybrids which are really cool. So I'll take you through 1 or 2. So this badge here with yours truly this has got a holographic layer over the top. Okay, so you can probably see that kind of iridescent colouring, which doesn't detract from the actual copy on the badge or the photograph, but when it's moved and it catches the light, just like your Access, MasterCard, Visa symbol, the whole badge has got a holographic layer in front of it, which actually protects it from fade, but obviously it gives it a certain level of security. Now you can have that front and back, of course. We've got that on the front and the back there. But when I say a certain level of security, what I mean is, if someone can afford to buy the machine that will apply that technology, then it becomes purely like an aesthetical kind of thing. It's like a quick glance. Is that enough for you? It does certainly make the badges look authentic, but does it really protect? I'm not so sure. So what we've developed is badges with, and I'll show you this as an example. So this is not got the holographic layer over the top, but it has got a holographic patch. And the beauty about the holographic patch, you can see that just the iridescence there, is that it has got words like genuine, authentic, original, but it's also got a unique ID number on there as well, which you could then allocate to the member of staff, which you could then mention to customers, let customers know that, you know, John Smith's going to be coming round. If you need to check his ID badge, it's this number, A40628, or whatever the number is. And that gives a much more robust level of security for you and your organisation, and of course your staff members and your customers, because it's very difficult to copy. 1, if you haven't got the machine to do this. 2, if you're a perpetrator and you do not know this particular number that's on the card. Now that could be obviously placed on the front, or it can be placed on the reverse of the card. The third method is almost like a hybrid of both. So it's the holographic patch with the unique number on it, and then over the top of the whole card you could have the layer of holographic film, which then provides a real kind of hybrid, robust method of protecting your cards. Now the 4th way you could do it is having UV ink, which is where we on the back of, in the background of the card, we can put some text or even a logo in UV ink, which can't be seen under normal daylight, but of course you put that under a UV light. You can get these anywhere, little like pen torches or whatever. In fact, I think I'm not sure whether this one here is UV. There, that one. I don't know whether it is or not, but certainly the only issue there is that the customer themselves would need to have one of these, so that, you know, so that they could show the UV ink up. Now let me give you some tips. When you're ordering your ID cards from Ahead Solutions, it would be helpful if the same member of staff orders the card. I know that's not always possible because obviously people take holidays, people change positions within organisations, so it's not always possible. But what you could do is just ensure that the email that you use to order your ID cards comes from an email with a domain. So if you are, abcbrewery.com, then the email would come from john@abcbrewery.com. We can see then that it could be very difficult for a perpetrator and probably not worth the while to try to get access to the domain name to order the ID card. So that's a really good way. Use Dropbox for your photographs or that kind of thing, so we know it's coming from a genuine source. Another one is a shipping address. If we're sending to a shipping address that we've sent to you before, then that's really helpful. If it's going to the card holders direct, then that's a little bit more, we need to be really cautious about that, because of course anyone could come on and order and say, oh, can you send it direct to the card holder? And we do that. We charge a premium for it, but it's much more helpful if it goes to your head office or your registered office where we would regularly send cards to. And of course, then the other thing is just make sure that your contact details are on the email, so that if we do need to contact you, if there's any area for suspicion or we've got a question or a query, that of course we can just contact you and make sure that we're printing the cards and that they are legitimate cards going out to the right person. So that's it. There's been an alarming amount of fake ID applications, and not just to us, to other businesses that we know and we speak to on a regular. So we're trying to do our best to protect you and our customers. The holographics are a great way to protect yourself. So if that's something that you consider, obviously there are different price points for that, but we've made it as affordable as possible. So check out the website and see if that's something that would work for you. I mean, there are companies that just really don't want the iridescence, they don't want the fanciness of that, and that's fine, but having a holographic, uniquely coded holographic panel, if you like, which is beneath the film of the card, by the way, it can't be easily taken off. And in fact, if that was to be taken off, it leaves a tampered like tracer on the card itself, which is really difficult to get off. So you could have that front, you could have that back, and it's going to protect you. So thank you very much for watching, and take care of yourself, and I'll see you on another one of these really soon.